Nigeria's return to democratic rule in the Fourth Republic in 1999 sparked several advocacies in the attempt to nurture and sustain democratic ideals and practices. One advocacy has remained quite visible and strong, gaining increasing acceptance as democracy gains ground in Nigeria. I'm talking about women in politics. Perhaps a better way to put this would be women's participation and representation in government. There is no doubt that some gains have been recorded in this direction, but let's give some statistical perspective to this issue. Our researchers have shown that the national average of women's participation has remained 6.7% in elective and appointive positions, which is far below the global average of 22.5%. Africa regional average of 23.4% and West Africa's sub-regional average of 15%. Now, in his attempt to change the equation, the Buhari administration gave opportunities to about 31 women to be part of government and his policy-making team. Now, these women who come from different backgrounds were selected to head various ministries and agencies in a bid to encourage Nigerian women. And in his attempt to change that equation, these women have also helped inspire most women, and without them, the president's success in government so far is incomplete. On this edition of Nigeria Today, we will be discussing the accomplishment of some of these women appointees and how it has inspired women's participation in government in the last 4 years. Welcome to the program. I am Anne Jibuno. Now, the program is Nigeria Today. We have two women in the studio with us to discuss the topic, Nigerian women and Buhari administration. Mrs. Pauline Tallen is a former deputy governor of Plateau State and a politician. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, my dear sister.
We also have Hajia Binta Moazu, an APC supporter. Thanks for joining us on Nigeria Today.
Thank you very much.
Now, the list of women in this administration is quite long, but let me ask you, which of them stands out particularly in terms of how they handle their task? Hajia, you go first.
Well, let me start by saying that President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed competent and well-articulated and focused women in most of his appointments that he made. I want to start with Hajia Hadiza, who is the DG of the NPA. She is doing very, very well. In fact, she has done more than what the other her predecessors were there. And I will say that they have realized a lot of development there, and a lot of revenues were raised, more than what they've been achieving or they've been getting in the last previous tenure in that organization. And then if you look at it, there are a lot of wrongs that we're doing in that organization. She was able to bring them out and dealt with them accordingly as it's supposed to be. So I think MPA DG has done us proud as a woman to be able to achieve that
those feats.
Yeah.
Now, Mrs. Pauline Tallen, which women appointees have stood out in this administration?
Thank you very much. We want to start by thanking Mr. President for the appointment of women so far as ministers. We have Hajia Zainab Ahmed, the Minister of Women Affairs, the Minister of Finance, who is doing very, very well, and everybody can testify to that. We have the head of service, Ayo Atta. She's doing very well. We have the Minister of Women Affairs, Aisha Abubakar, who has also moved from industry to to cover women affairs after Haji Al-Hassan had left to contest for governorship in her state. These women have stood out, and they have so far given the necessary support and integrity to the administration of Mr. President. Mr. President has realized that women can be trusted, and that's why since he's coming into office, he has his first Minister of Finance. We knew what happened. Kemi, she was a woman. Unfortunately, with the incidents of her papers as regards her participation in the NYSC, she had to resign. And he saw that the only person that can step into that shoes should be another woman. Mr. President has also appointed women as SSA. We have ADVOCACY, my former colleague, former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, who is doing very, very well as SSA, SDG, Millennium Development Goals. And we also have Sadia in the Refugee Commission. We have Laureta, who is doing well with the media. We also have our sister, who is now heading the commission for those in diaspora.
Yes, okay, Abike Dabiri.
Abike Dabiri, who is doing very well. Yes. She's always been a media person, and she's coordinating the diaspora very, very well. And now with the new commission, I'm sure the sky will be our limit. But we feel that in the first tenure, yes, we've seen the tip of the few women that Mr. President has appointed. We appreciate that, but we believe he can do better.
Yes, he actually promised.
The next level he has promised, and we are waiting anxiously to see, because Nigerian women have proved their worth throughout the campaigns. They are the ones that gave the highest votes, and everybody can testify that women's vote is 75 to 80%. Women and children will go hand in hand, women and youth. And that section of the campaign, where the women and youth campaign, we were the engine of the last campaign. 2015, it was women. The appearance of the First Lady to lead the Nigerian women in the campaign made a difference in the last election. And we kept to our promise again this time. And with the support we've thrown our weight behind Mr. President, I believe and I know Mr. President will keep to his promise to ensure that we have at least not just 35%, if possible 40%, because women are the majority.
Yes.
And if you want proper development, if you are talking about national development that is balanced, you have to carry the majority of the people.
Yes. Now, let's talk about first female office holders, first-time female office holders in this administration. Can you identify any of them and how they have fared? For those who have held office for the first time.
Well, I wouldn't say it's for the first time, but at least the recent appointment of Hajia Aisha Ahmed, who is the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, I'm quite sure she has been in the system, but at least for quite a long time in other previous regime, we haven't heard of a lady who is appointed as a deputy governor. Normally we do hear the men folk occupying the position. So to me, I think it is a pride, it's a good thing that he has done that to the women folk, and I think she is competent. We learned that she is a qualified person. It's not that she's just given the positions without having the qualities. And then secondly, I think Sadia Farouk, she's doing fantastically well.
And she's the first time.
I think it is the first time, and she's doing very well. Because the previous persons who occupy those, that position, we haven't heard about the organization at all. I haven't heard about anything, good coming from that organization until when Sadia was appointed there.
Okay, she's the first.
I mean, she is appointed there.
She's the first female who stood out in that
organization.
Okay.
Previously, I haven't been hearing about that. And also, there's a lady heading this organization, PTAD, Princess Gloria Abundu. She's doing very well as well.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Okay, do you have any other names? Anyway, now let's appraise some of these women appointees against the backdrop of the popular saying that what a man can do, a woman can do better.
Yes.
Or the other way around. Some people say it's the other way around. How have women performed in positions of in office as against men who were there before?
Yes, I want to tell you, naturally we women, we are gifted by God. We are very compassionate, very caring. Anywhere we find ourselves, we like to make a mark. So we always make the difference. While the men is a different thing entirely, except you have people that are godly, they will try to be reasonable in discharging their duties. But you put a woman, it's like you have put her there to serve the whole world, not even her country. She tries to extend her love, her affection, everything she put into whatever she's given to do, to make sure that she leaves a mark. She makes sure that she affects everyone that surrounds her. And any woman who is responsible, who is God-fearing, will try as much as possible to see that she does what is expected of her, or even more than that. And I think the better women are given positions than, thinking that their places are in the kitchen. And if you look at it, these women that we have mentioned, all of them, you cannot say that you are going to give them 50% or 60%. They have done wonderfully. And I think these are examples that we women will do, in fact, much more better than that. There are a lot of competent, compassionate, dedicated women who are hidden. We are not allowed to participate and show our potentials and also to contribute to the governance of this country. I think Mr. President this time around will do better than what he has done in the last appointment that he did to the women.
Okay, Mrs. Pauline Talen, let's look at the successes of women in the current administration and how this can spur more women into elective office. Now, how do you see, what kind of positions would you like to see women vying for in future?
Well, there are strategic positions that I believe if Mr. President deem it fit to appoint women there, they will definitely make a mark, because
I'm talking about
elective.
Elective. Yes. What kind of positions should women be vying for?
Of course,
especially
elective positions is either you go to the House of Reps or House of Assembly or Senate or governorship or any position. It's only that this time no woman came out to contest for presidency, because we believe in Mr. President and we all threw our way to support him. But women can hold any position in this country because they've been tested and proven worthy. Yes. We have the passion, we have the drive, we have the love. You see, a woman, when she's doing everything, she does it as if she's running her home, because she's a mother. A woman is a total package of God's creation. She does things with passion, she does things with love. So
there is no position that
there's no position that anyone cannot go into. And I believe that before Mr. President leaves office, he should leave a mark by ensuring that what is happening in most of the African countries happen in Nigeria, because we call ourselves the giant of Africa, and yet we are so backward when it comes to women's participation in politics.
Yes, I'm sure.
When you look at the graph,
I'm sure going forward things will improve. But let's pause for a break now to hear what Nigerians are saying about women in this administration. Do stay with us.
there are many ministers now who are women. It's somehow unprecedented, I think. For instance, the former minister of Finance was a woman, and even the one who took over currently is also a woman. And not only that, other ministries like Women and Social Development and other ministries, they are women. But that is not to say that we have reached the ideal or the optimum. It can still be improved upon.
Women have roles to play in governance, but to some extent in this first term of President Muhammadu Buhari, honestly speaking, women were not given the role expected. Why? This is because if we assess women in the past, they played vital role in governance even than the men. But I will suggest in this term, by God's grace, come May 29, if women can be given opportunities, I believe strongly, I think they can make better changes in this country.
Include more women. Women are homemaker. They are protectors. They do well in everything they handle. The past women in other administration, they do well. Women in ministry, they do well. Women everywhere, they do well. So if you can include more women and have confidence in them, they will help you to build this nation and they will move it forward.
You're watching Nigeria Today, and our guest, Mrs. Pauline Talent, former Deputy Governor of Plateau State, and Hajia Binta Muazu, APC supporter, are still here with us. Now, you listened to the comments Nigerians made on women in this administration, and this brings me to something many women, especially the indigent women, are benefiting from. Today, the conditional cash transfer program of government, most of the people, the bulk of those who benefit from this project are women. And incidentally, a woman is administering this program. How would you rate that conditional cash transfer program? What would you say compared to what we had in the past? Well, if we had anything like that.
In fact, let me tell you, it has never existed in the history of Nigeria, that kind of assistance that this government has rendered to the women. If you look at what the Vice President has been doing, I tell you, he is surprising everyone in this country, not even Nigeria, the whole world. A Vice President to go to the market, mix himself with the common ones. Believe me, what do you expect of other people to say than to thank this government? They are doing very well. They have impacted on the most common in the country. Some people who cannot afford even 2,000 are now getting 5,000, 10,000 to start small trading business. The nice about it is for the Vice President to go himself to reach these poor people, to monitor everything. And then, you know, after a few weeks, he goes to another region of the country. That you have 6 geopolitical zones. He made sure that he went to about 3 of the country, the geopolitical zone of the country, which is very good. And I think with this return of their government, he's going to do equally the same thing. They're going to continue with the program, and well, let me just say that they have done very well in that aspect.
Okay, now, Mrs. Pauline Talent, women constitute the bulk of the population in Nigeria. In fact, women are more than men, you know, from the last census we heard. Now, why is this not translating to, you know, them winning elections, or we winning elections in the country? How can women change this narrative?
Well, it's a very unfortunate situation. It's difficult and it's deliberate, the way the political atmosphere is not favorable to women. Look at the party structure. The party structure doesn't favor women. We have only one woman amongst more than 20 men in the National Working Committee. And this one woman is a lone voice. It's because they need a woman to mobilize women. if they could even change the name, they would have even given that position to a man.
Okay.
So just one woman out of over 20. She's a lone voice. The moment she tries to talk, they shout on her. The same thing at the state and local government level. Women are denied any opportunity at the party structure.
Now let's
again, you know, politics entails a lot of money.
Yes.
And most women are not economically buoyant.
How do you change this?
The only way to change
the narrative.
The only way to change the narrative is to apply the same template that is happening in other African countries. We call ourselves the giant of Africa. We all know that Nigeria is the biggest country in the whole of the African continent. We have all it takes. We have women that can stand the test of time in every political office, be it elective or appointive. But yet, our men have denied women the opportunity to play their role. When you look at the situation, in other African countries, a quota is given. So we need a legislation that will give women the quota to contest amongst themselves. Let's say at the national level, where we have 300 and the National Assembly.
Yes.
We have 3 senators at each.
Yes, in each
state. We have about from the House of Reps. In some states we have 6, we have 8. It depends. All we are saying that give the women 1/3, just as a percentage, 1/3. If you give them that 1/3, they will contest among themselves. That quota is for women.
Okay, Aja.
And that's what happens in other countries, and that's why
we should imbibe that. Now, Aja, you wanted to say something before I ask my last question?
She has already said it. I wanted to, let me add to what she has said. I think it's good the government set sort of a template, as she has said, to make sure certain positions are being left for the women to contest. That is the only way they can do to deal with the problem of domination by the men. Certain positions in the party leadership, and also from the party leadership, and as well when contesting for House of Reps or Senate, at least out of 3 from each country, each state, 1 should be a woman. There should be that in the manifesto or in the constitution, wherever.
Now, sorry, finally, what lessons should women coming into politics or coming into office learn from what we have on ground now, you know, women in politics?
The lesson I will want we women to learn is to first of all believe in ourselves, and then to come in group, to advocate more, seek for more, you know, attention, or rather preference given to us, as we have just discussed, at least certain positions to be left for the women to contest. Let us advocate for it, put our heads together and work together.
Okay, Mrs. Pauline Tallen, your last final words on the lessons, very briefly, please.
The lessons we need to learn from this is we must support one another. We must work as a team. We must fight for whatever concerns a fellow woman, irrespective of even political parties.
Okay. At this point, we have to thank our guest, Mrs. Pauline Tallen, former Deputy Governor of Plateau State and a politician. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
And we also thank Aja Binta Mwazu, APC supporter. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
And we also thank you for watching. You can watch this edition or any other edition of Nigeria Today on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. Join us again, same time, same station for another edition of the program. I am Anne Jibuno.